All right. Hey, I'm going to talk about something that I truly love, prototypes. Wow. When you have an idea and you can actually see that idea that you have in your head come to life and you can touch it, who doesn't love a prototype? Watch this video because I can tell you sometimes you're spending too much money on prototypes and sometimes you're not quite sure even what to do with them once you have them. So please watch this video. All right, let's start at the very beginning. I love prototypes because I like to build things. And there's nothing like seeing your idea come to life with a prototype. Now, you have to realize when I first started out, I was building all my prototypes out of paper, and then I might use colored paper to cover it so it looked like plastic and I could take a picture of it and it looked real. I did that because I wanted to send my ideas, not just drawings, but my ideas to companies with these prototypes that looked pretty good. Now, I'm pretty good at building prototypes. I studied sculpture in college, so for me, it was easy to build prototypes. Now, I didn't build a prototype for every project I had because that would be just too much work. And I had someone that was on my team that would do all my sketching and all the drawings, and this guy was amazing. But when I could build one, I wanted to build it. But you have to realize I had some skills, I had some time, and I wanted to see it work. So I built my own prototypes. You also have to realize too that building prototypes does take a lot of time. And there's a problem with building prototypes because once you build one, you're going to play with it and you're going to fix it and you're going to polish it up and you're going to make some changes. And sometimes you just keep on playing with the prototype forever, which is not the greatest strategy, especially if you're in the game of licensing your ideas or even venturing your ideas. If you're just playing with the prototype, because there comes a time when you have to take it the next step. And sometimes, since we love building prototypes, we don't do the other things we should be doing because we're playing with the prototype. Now, I know if you're listening to this video and you're an inventor, you're an entrepreneur, you love prototypes too. In fact, I love mine so much that I put prototypes on my bedstand, even on my dashboard while I'm driving, looking at my prototype because I loved it so much. Or maybe even in my pocket, and I would show people, you guys, that's part of the problem. You love them too much. So let's talk about what you should do. Okay, so you kind of manage it a little bit. All right. Number one, if you cannot build a prototype and you're just starting out and you want to show someone a concept, I would probably use 3D computer generated graphics. And James is going to show a sample up here on the screen. It looks pretty good. And in fact, it looks so good, sometimes you think you could actually buy it. Now, that's pretty good to send to somebody to see if the benefits are strong enough to get kind of a read. But you're not going to get a licensing deal just with that pretty 3D computer generated graphic. It's almost just a tool to see if the benefit is strong enough that maybe you need to build a prototype. Now, I do that if I have a lot of ideas and I don't want to spend a lot of time on prototypes. I want to test it first. So that's what you can do. And we've been talking a lot about that over the years at inventRight, testing ideas with 3D computer generated samples. But at the end of the day, if a company likes it and you want them to like it, they're going to ask for a prototype. Why? They need proof of concept. They want to touch it. They want to feel it. And the best way to demo it, even with the sizzle video, which is that 1-minute video showing problem and solution, you need a working prototype. You need proof of concept. I would say most companies, unless it's a really simple idea, which there's a lot of simple ideas, which I never built a prototype and did license ideas. But overall, I'm going to say 90% of the time, maybe even more than that, you're going to need a working prototype to get the licensing deal. There it is. To get the licensing deal, you're going to need a prototype. Okay, now let's talk about what type of prototype do you need? And because there's a lot of different types of prototypes. Sometimes I'll cannibalize something. I'll take something apart and take another thing apart and I'll put it together. It looks pretty good. That's one way to build a prototype. And trust me, I've built a lot of prototypes by cannibalizing two different ideas and bringing them together. I think I call it Frankenstein, or there's some name for it. I've done that a million times and it works. It does work. But sometimes you're going to probably you're going to need to go a little bit further than that and maybe use 3D printing. Maybe you're going to need to reach out to someone to help. And I've done that too, because sometimes I can't build it. I can't fake it. I can't cannibalize it. I need a prototype. And depends on the industry, that if I'm in a certain industry, I'm going to need one. So how do I get one done? Well, if you contact us down below, we're doing a lot of prototypes for people now. We could probably help or at least look at it and give you an idea how it could be done. So please reach out to us if you think you need a prototype, because we work with a lot of people and we can make sure we can get one done that's affordable and looks great and it works. Because sometimes you can get prototypes done where you're not really happy with it. So you have to manage it a little bit. Okay. So, and there's different types of prototypes. There could be a looks like, it doesn't really function very well, but it looks like what it should be. There's a works like, and that's a prototype that's actually going to function. That's fantastic. And then there's prototypes where you might want to do consumer testing. And I've done a lot of those too, where the company that wants to license it wants to do a little consumer testing with the prototype. So that's got to look really good. And that gets a little bit more expensive. And that's a whole nother conversation to have, because when they do consumer testing, you want it to look really, really good. Okay. And they're going to want more than just one. Sometimes when I was working with a big beverage company, I had to make 500 prototypes. It took a little bit of time, and they actually paid me to build it. And that's something you can negotiate. Okay. So you have different types of prototypes. That's why sometimes you need to determine which one do you need. And if you need help with that, we can also help you determine what type of prototype do you need. Also realize this too. Sometimes these prototypes are not built for manufacturing. And because that's a different type of prototype. That's a prototype, there's maybe a lot of engineering went into it. Of course, CAD drawings have gone into it, but it's really looked at from a manufacturing standpoint. And we work with people that do that too. That gets more expensive. So sometimes the best thing to do is maybe 3D computer generated sample first, maybe test it, and then maybe cannibalize some prototype or have someone make it for you. Like I said, that's another way. But taking it further, like if you're going to start to manufacture it yourself, you want to start selling it yourself, you need to work with those manufacturers right off the gate to build that prototype for you. But there's certain stages. Okay, fantastic. I want to talk about, when do you use a prototype? Because I think people get this all wrong too. Prototypes break. Okay, so if I were to have a prototype made, I love it. It works pretty cool, still fragile, and some company wants to see it, and I ship it to them, it could break in shipping. You know what? Also, some of the problems I've seen is where you have a prototype, a company wants to see it, which is really great news. You send it to them, they get it out of the box, and they use it, and they break it while they're using it. That happens too. Sometimes what I'll do, when I do send a prototype, I'll do a little video to show them how to actually use it when they open the box so they don't break it. I cannot tell you how many times I've sent a prototype, the guy gets it, doesn't know how to use it, and puts a bad taste in his mouth, and before you know it, the deal doesn't go anywhere. So you have to kind of manage it. But here's what you can do. When you get that prototype, film it. That's right, film it. Film it with different angles. Make sure you have a lot of video of your prototype, because you have it now, it's real, and you can make these wonderful 1-minute videos that we call sizzle reels, show problems, show solutions, show your prototype. It's a great way now to take advantage, because you have that physical prototype. All right. Instead of just sending it off to a company, I'd rather do a Zoom call and do a demo. Show them how it works. That's another way. You could also, if they're close by, do a demo, go to their office, and so you can show them how to work the prototype. Or maybe you're at a conference or somewhere that you're kind of managing the demo of your prototype instead of just sending it off in the mail for it to break. You got to be careful with your prototypes, because at the end of the day, they are expensive. But sometimes also you have to realize the prototypes won't be perfect, and they're not supposed to be perfect. They're just showing functionality. So sometimes you've got to be a little bit relaxed that it's not going to look exactly the way you want it to look. That's further down the road. They want to see proof of concept. Okay, so nutshell, conclusion. I love prototypes. In order to get a licensing deal, yes, you're probably going to need a prototype. And what type of prototype do you need? That's debatable. You need to ask how they're going to use it. You need to kind of think it through. How to get one made. If you need one made, we can help you down below. We have a lot of information. We work with a lot of people that can build great prototypes. But at the end of the day, you just have to be careful with your budget too. And if you can make them yourself, fantastic. If they look good, even better. But if you cannot, and I think most of us cannot build great prototypes, you're going to need to get some help, because that could make or break your deal, is the prototype. All right, Stephen Key, inventRightTV. Thank you for watching me ramble on about prototypes. I love them. I love seeing an idea come to life, and I bet you do too. Thanks for watching. Okay, you've got a great product idea and you're not quite sure what to do. Or maybe you've got inventory in your garage because you were selling your product on Amazon and you don't want to continue doing it, but you want someone to help you license your idea to a company to bring it to market for you. We have a new program that's called Gateway, where we do all the work for you. We'll find the right companies and the right people to make sure your product is pitched correctly to get the licensing deal. This new program is called Gateway. If you're interested, please check it out.